Thank you. Apology for a few minutes delay. We tried to be on live on Facebook, social media. I think, especially in Southern Asia, Facebook is so popular.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. You all can see yourself live in Dhaka, Washington News Network, DWMN in Facebook. So you all are in live, we are showing it live, DWMN, Dhaka, Washington News Network. And we will share the link. Thank you. Just go ahead. Dhaka, Washington News Network. I'm taking live.
We will start our program now. My apology for being almost 40 minutes behind the schedule. My name is Islam Chaudhary. I'm the president of the Root Foundation USA and also I'm the convener of this program, International Investment and Digital Finance. Distinguished guests, respected dignitaries, honorable speakers, our partners, volunteers, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor and privilege to welcome you all to this first International Investment and Digital Finance Conference 2026 here in Washington, D.C. We try to time this conference during IMF and World Bank history meeting so that a lot of dignitaries already in the town, so we can add more their input and presence in our meeting. And also in the future meeting, maybe next year, we'll try to do the same time when IMF and World Bank meeting goes on, same time next year. We name this International Investment and Digital Finance, primarily for USA and Southern Asian countries. In this time, we need more economic activities, so investment should go to South Asian countries from USA. At the same time, the investors from South Asian countries should be able to invest in USA as well. So it's a two-way street. It's not only investment in Southern Asia, it's also investment in USA. Actually networking between these two groups of investors. Secondly is intelligence and mobile banking and internet, social media, all these come into play in finance, especially in the less fortunate people or underserved areas who do not have access to those digital financing. We are trying through this effort to extend the services to those people as well. We had two-day conference, today, 17th of April, and tomorrow. Today we have two sessions, and then followed by a dinner. So we do have limited time, and as a president, I declare the opening of our conference, International Investment in Digital Finance, open. Thank you. For our first session, I'd like to invite our dear friend Mark Jaffe. He is from New York. He is the president of the Greater Chamber of Commerce, New York City, the state of New York. He will be the moderator for our first session. Second, I'd like to invite Ambassador Osman Siddiqui to come and take place on the stage. Ambassador Osman Siddiqui, he served as U.S. Ambassador to different countries during Clinton administration. We are very fortunate to have Mr. Osman Siddiqui in our team. He's doing all the work behind the scenes. You see a lot of these special guests here because of him. Thank you, Mr. Osman Siddiqui. Is Sarah Brooke here? I'm not sure. Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Sarah Brooke. She is the Director of Business and Financial Services at Virginia Economic Development Partnership. Please come to the stage, please. Next, I'd like to invite our Honorable Ambassador Henry K. Thomas. He was ambassador to Bangladesh several years ago, U.S. ambassador, and now he teaches at the famous universities, and he is also a family friend of mine. Next, I'd like to invite Ms. Karima M. Woods. She is the Commissioner, District of Columbia, Department of Insurance, Securities and Banking. Welcome, Ms. Woods. Next, I'd like to invite my dear friend John Danilowitz, very much involved with Southern Asian countries. And we're glad to have you here, John. Next, I'd like to invite Tarun Krishnani. Is here? Tarun Krishnani is here. He's the founder and chairman of Ramana Capital. Next, I'd like to invite, he flew all the way from Bangladesh, Major General Mohammad Hakimuzzaman. He's the Vice Chairman of the Trust Bank, Bangladesh. Next, I'd like to invite Mr. Keith Andrew Perry. Keith Andrew Perry is the Vice President of Government Affairs and Policy, DC Chamber of Commerce. Now I'd like to invite Mark Jaffe to moderate our panel discussion. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. President, and congratulations on the first annual International Investment in Digital Conference. And we want to thank the Roots Foundation for all they do for commerce throughout the globe. I know that remittances are a big percentage of the GDP of some of the developing nations and sovereign nations. And as an American, I can say we're proud of that, because without good global trade, we're going to have many other problems. So you did the hardest part here. You introduced everybody. So welcome, very impressive group of people. We have economic development experts, bankers and finance experts, ambassadors, people that are very learned. So I guess the first question is, why is and how is artificial intelligence affecting the world, the globe, but particularly finance? And for our local economic development experts, we're all concerned about energy costs, these powerful artificial intelligence rooms that are going to put pressure to raise our electric prices, raise our energy prices. In New York, our utilities have gone up 400% since COVID. That's a big bite out of the average taxpayer's portfolio. It's a big bite out of people here that want to send remittances to their countries. So who would like to start off and talk about the core root of what's going to power all these digital assets going from country to country? So let's go to Mr. Perry. I know he's here because he wants to attract investment here. And you heard our president talk about a two-way street. So my counterpart from the DC Chamber of Commerce, tell us what the DC Chamber of Commerce is doing to encourage more affordable rates and attract people to DC, and how you look forward to maybe working with global leaders to accomplish that.
Well, thank you very much.
Microphone.
Thank you, and I will try to weave in some of the AI question into that as well. So, of course, the D.C. Chamber of Commerce is the voice of business here in Washington, D.C. We represent over 1,000 businesses, both large and small. So, from little corner stores to very large multinational corporations. And so we try to both maintain and increase the ecosystem that we have here. Diversity is very important, and DC is in a very unique place because we are currently experiencing a lot of disruption in our economy. The disruption is coming largely from the disinvestment from the federal government in the city itself. You might see a lot of construction, you might see a few empty buildings here downtown. A lot of that is attributable to federal government kind of moving out of the city. The good news is, and I'll defer to Ms. Woods on this because she's actually in the cabinet, but I can say that the city has been working very assiduously over the last few years to diversify our economy so that we're not so dependent upon the federal government. And we do have really an embarrassment of riches when it comes to resources. We've got world-class universities, we've got a world-class healthcare system. As I was talking to our table mate before we got started, we have every embassy in the world. And that is very, very important in terms of connecting DC to the rest of the world. There are a multitude of opportunities from a tech standpoint. Many of the universities are actively engaged in spinning off for-profit entities, manned by their graduates and faculty in the area of AI, for example, that will add to the new economy that DC is building. So that's a bit of an overview, but I'm happy to engage more.
Thank you, thank you. Well, speaking of DC, Ms. Woods, I see you work for a very important agency here in the District of Columbia, insurance securities and banking. And this field particularly needs some regulations, and AI will need regulations too, more ethical regulations, but could you speak about some of your concerns with AI regulations as it comes to international transactions and just maybe the insurance and banking industry guaranteeing these payments going to countries?
Sure, thank you for the question, and I will share, just full disclosure, I was anticipating bringing welcoming remarks on behalf of Mayor Bowser, and so I'll address your question, but I am here on the behalf of our mayor. I serve as the Commissioner for the Department of Insurance, Securities, and Banking here in the District of Columbia. What that means is that I'm the Chief Financial Regulator for the district. We have a charge to ensure that we protect district consumers. We regulate the financial services industry here in the district that relates to insurance, securities, and banking. We also have a focus on financial education and empowerment, and we administer a small business access to capital program as well. What that means is that our charge is really focused on how we protect the integrity of financial markets here in the district and ensure that our residents do not experience any financial harm. And so that is something that we take seriously. Over the last couple of years, we created a new office focused on innovation called the Office of Innovation. And the office is set up to ensure that we partner with our economic development partners to attract fintech, insurtech, and regtech companies to the District of Columbia. We want to make sure that, one, we have an open, fair, and competitive marketplace, but that we also have companies that abide by our laws and regulations. There are a number of steps that we've taken. We've taken steps towards possibly opening up a new sandbox. That effort did not move forward, but it is something we're still considering and pursuing. We meet regularly with fintech companies. We have ongoing office hours, and as I mentioned, we partner with a number of our economic development partners to attract these entities. We have a series of meetings set up this week. As it has been mentioned, there are meetings happening here in the district, IMF meetings, etc. And there have been a number of foreign delegations that have reached out to us to meet with our office, and we welcome that. As it relates to AI, and this is a subject that, from a regulatory perspective, we have been working on in a variety of different ways. I serve as the co-chair for the AI Innovation Working Group for the National Association for Insurance Commissioners. We've been focused at the NIC, that's the acronym for the organization. We've been focused on ensuring that we put certain frameworks in place for insurers as it relates to underwriting for AI. And this is a subject that we are working on with other regulators throughout the United States. We're also members of the National Association of Security Administrators and also the Conference of State Bank Supervisors. All of these entities consist of the regulators for each of the different states in the United States. And we're all working on AI in some shape, form, or fashion. We're all following a lot of the regulations that are coming out of the federal government, particularly on the banking side. And so that is something that we do day in and day out as regulators here in the district.
Wow, I see the Mayor Bowser has put together a great team, and the future of DC and our country looks bright. Thank you. Ms. Brooks, you work for the Economic Development Partnership of the state, very similar to our Empire State Development Organization in our state. We get the privilege of helping our entrepreneurs and small businesses, which this cause, remittances, we're talking about smaller businesses. So could you give us a quick overview of how your state economic development funds are being dispersed, and what do you anticipate the effect of the disbursements and the usage of lending funds as AI will affect the future needs of these entrepreneurs and small businesses?
Thank you. Unfortunately, I don't have the capacity to fully answer your question specifically, but I can talk a little bit about my role and Virginia's posture on the financial services sector in the state. So at the Virginia Economic Development Partnership, I'm part of a newly created team that is committed to doubling down on the financial service industry, amongst others, because we believe our state is poised for tremendous growth and innovation in this sector. So I was hired after a bit of time in international development and time at a Virginia Fortune 100 financial services company, and now I get to tend to the ecosystem in my home state. We truly see the effects of the tremendous talent pool we have in Virginia, the appetite for innovation, and I think we're going to be okay through this AI journey. It comes down to talent and people and how we experiment, but also by taking into account lessons from the past and setting up appropriate measures to make sure we stay safe and secure, some of the things that you were mentioning. And so in Virginia specifically, I am maintaining subject matter expertise in fintech and thinking about public-private partnerships that will help bolster that ecosystem.
Well, I'm going to put some of these bankers on the grilling stand in a minute, but I think Washington and Virginia is in good hands because you chose to come and live and work in your home state, and that says a lot about the way you were raised, and that's a good sign for everybody. So thank you for your opening question. So we have a couple of bankers down at the end. I know the chairman of Ramana Capital is here, and I know what the agencies help provide, the politicians need to make sure you're doing it honestly. So tell us how you think a group like Empire State Development in New York or here, and we invite you to come do business in New York. But here in Virginia, with the Virginia Economic Development Partnership, do you currently work with them? Are you providing funding in a way through your community resource foundations? And could you speak a little bit about how you want to get money either to your sovereign nations or to people here in Virginia?
Well, is that question to me?
That's to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, hi, my name is Tarun Krishnani. I don't know how to answer that question, but I can answer the first question that you asked, which was how is AI really changing the remittance or cross-border, or even for that matter, investments between the Indian region and over to the US and back and forth. It's not the same script. The script has turned. So what do I mean by that? It means that what used to be a lot more software has moved towards being much more hardware. So there is a huge dependence for countries at this point in time to invest in their own hardware. So this is really what the script has changed. And of course, because AI needs so much energy, we have moved much more closer to I hope there are no climate activists in the room, but more closer to fossil fuels. And I don't see any other way how we're going to solve for this need of tokens, because at this point in time, every large Fortune 100 company you will meet in the US, they are flirting with AI in such a different manner that they have to send emails internally to their organization saying you are consuming too many tokens. Because tokens are very, very heavy. Anyone who has used even basic research today knows that if you do any kind of deep research on any models, it may end up taking 20 to 25 minutes. This is lack of hardware, lack of energy, and because of which every nation will have to sort of work towards investing towards their independence. And rightly so, having the fact that I invest in the US and in India, these are the two markets that I focus on. I see a huge set of companies that are going to benefit. And we've seen in the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks alone, a lot of stocks have gone 5x, 7x. We can see like 20, 25x, and really that growth kicking in. So from a standpoint of how I see this that, and it's too early to declare, but the US is a serious winner in this race. And of course, that's going to really impact how all this investment happens between major countries. Another point to note is that we're moving into a much more stablecoin diffused world. So what that means is essentially cross-border payments become much more easily sort of confirmable. So a lot is at play. It's good that we are moving fast to the stablecoin world because it also means that the US economy can continue to fund its debt programs. Because essentially, lots of instead of countries like Japan or China holding US treasuries, individuals in different parts of the world will be able to own US treasuries, which I think is a positive. Thank you.
And we have a new banker down there I haven't met, but would you like to comment on the same two areas, AI and possibly how you might be trying to create lending pools here and getting finances out to economic development agencies represented by Ms. Brooks and Ms. Woods?
Yes, thank you. I shall not going to answer your question directly, rather on AI and banking. Tomorrow, inshallah, I'll be speaking for a few minutes and I'll give my insight there. However, as I come from Bangladesh and I'm a vice president of one of the banks in Bangladesh, I like to inform this audience the reality of the banking sector and aspiration of people of Bangladesh, which relates to us to understand the psychology and also the behavior of people. That is more important to understand, everything bank. Please to understand the pattern and everything of its clients. So I like to say one thing, that in our banking sectors, actually we are moving into digital and with some portion of automation mainly. And AI-driven support that we have is also limited because the infrastructure that needs for AI for the people of Bangladesh at the marginal areas and others are also limited. So, therefore, our people, whether in Dhaka or in the big cities, other than them, they are much dependent on the mobile financial systems that is more for Bangladesh. And like Bikash is one of the service of Bank of Bangladesh is playing a very good role. Then my bank has another one, and many other banks are also having this sort of mobile financial service in Bangladesh. And through those, our people who are residing in the marginal areas and also small entrepreneurs, they are supported. They are well supported, and it is vibrant in my countries. Another chapter, just I like to just highlight to you that for Bangladesh, we are highly also dependent on our remittance for our economic growth and for the economic stability. And across the whole globe, we have, we say, 150,000. No, it's 15 million. 15 million people are there in other countries. Bangladeshis are working in USA, Middle East, and elsewhere. Therefore, the remittance flow from outside to inside Bangladesh is also very, very important. Where our banking sector, that includes also these mobile financial systems that we have, are playing a great role. And I think we have huge opportunity, and it will open many of the opportunities if AI can integrate it there very effectively, so that money can flow, remittance can flow from outside to Bangladesh, frictionless to the individual who are residing in the village or in the far flank of the countries. And these two, I wanted to inform the House that actually how we are going through this technology and AI-driven banking system. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So, Ambassador Thomas, I like your resume. Global Affairs, a great university closer to my home. And, of course, an ambassador and a diplomat. But looking at the tough questions of regulating AI and also the energy use. We were talking yesterday in New York City about the vast amount of energy the AI requires, but also the fossil fuel. We were asked by Governor Hochul to slow down the investments and the rollouts of the alternative energies. You're trying to get to cold fusion eventually, but when can we sell units? But can you talk a little bit about, we know AI is going to pull energy, and we know some of the developing countries are still, their biggest export are fossil fuels, and we're trying to take away that. So how do you feel about AI's inevitability in commerce, and are you concerned about it ethically or its drain on fuel capacities affecting global trade and exports?
Thank you for that question. Yes, I'm clearly concerned about the environment, concerned about the cost, as well as how many people are employed. If you look at cities, Kansas City, Oxford, Mississippi, in the United States, they are looking at AI data centers that employ fewer than 100 people. AI companies are saying that they are going to pay their fair share. What's their fair share? How is that going to be regulated? And then, so you would take the same thing overseas to Bangladesh, a country that, which we love, but with remittances, is having challenges in terms of regulation. Too many regulations that overlap and unenforceable. And first thing a place like Bangladesh needs to look at is regaining access to the U.S. Development Finance Corporation, which has been suspended because of lack of workers' rights, human rights under Democrat and Republican administrations. I'm sure the new Rahman administration is engaging USTR and DFC to get that. But a country like Bangladesh and India, where I also live, has tremendous pollution already. Tremendous pollution. Lives are shortened because of the poor air quality. And we have to be good stewards of that and how people, everybody, deserves a decent chance. So I think that is going to be a major challenge. And I will tell you, as I conclude, at Yale, we have a lab that is able through AI to look at terrorism, attacks on women, attacks on villages, alert Doctors Without Borders, alert the Red Cross and Red Crescent, who are able to treat people, move people, help people beforehand. So it goes from one thing in crisis management, but also to work with supermarkets, with women in markets in managing their sales of vegetables, items, so that they don't go to waste, which is an important part in lands without refrigeration. So all of that is a positive thing that Yale is using to the Yale Lab and the School of Public Health. So I don't want to just demean AI, but you cannot not look at the environment.
I'm glad you agree. We at the Greater New York team are concerned about the environmental concerns, but also the regulatory and ethical concerns, because people figure out a way to put more money in their pockets, and sometimes it hurts the smallest businesses. In New York right now, we're opening a city-run supermarket, and a lot of people are cheering for it, but I have 800 bodega members that say, why are they getting so much money, and why are they taking so long to open it up? Without overburdensome regulations, we can open a bodega in a matter of 90 days. With all your regulations, it takes us 9 months. So we have to look at regulations that help create jobs versus hurt jobs for good intent. But this industry, I think we're all agreeing, is going to transform the world. Everybody here has had something to say. So we have an independent analysis on here. Mr. Danilowitz, would you like to comment on the opening question?
Thank you very much, and it's great to be here today. Let me take just one slice of that, and it's a theme which perhaps we'll return to, and it's already been referenced, is the importance of regional and global cooperation. We tend to look at things in silos. Here, those of us here in the United States look at things from an American perspective. Our friends, colleagues, loved ones in Bangladesh look at things from a Bangladeshi perspective. But many of these challenges are ones that face regions and the globe as a whole. So turning to South Asia and the region in which Bangladesh and some of the other countries we'll be talking about is located, there's a sad reality that South Asia is probably the least integrated part of the world. The people of South Asia face common challenges, whether it be the environment, whether it be the need to create jobs, whether it be the need to advance the status of women and other minority communities. Yet what has happened too often is that each country has looked at these issues in a silo. So I think one of the challenges in the current era, particularly an era of diminishing resources, at least on the official development assistance side, is to look for efficiencies and the sharing of best practices. So I think as you continue these discussions over the next few days, one of the suggestions or challenges I would give you is to not look at things in these silos, but to look across borders and to set aside some of the political challenges and differences, which are real. But at the same time, if there's a good solution to a problem in one country in the region, there's no shame or there's no reason why the other countries in the region shouldn't try to apply that. And the same goes for the United States as well. The other theme I'll just touch on briefly is the fact that this is a two-way street. And we've seen that in terms of the vibrancy of the immigrant communities in the United States, the role of the diaspora. And we've seen this not just in an economic sense and the degree to which remittances are fueling economic development in many of the countries, but the way that diaspora communities can also mobilize to affect political change. And we saw this most vividly in the summer of 2024 when the global diaspora from Bangladesh mobilized in support of the efforts of the people of Bangladesh to regain their freedom. So I think all of these challenges have been mentioned, whether it be energy, whether it be environment, whether it be artificial intelligence. I think the way to confront these common challenges is to help develop common solutions.
Thank you. And again, you matched the opening remarks of our president here about a two-way street. What are the benefits for both sides of the transaction? And sometimes we have to root out the cost. Again, sometimes these major utilities are not really planning for their environmental costs, so who picks that up? We the people. We the people pick it up, and without great leaders that we have in Washington and all our states, we wouldn't have as nice a planet. So, Ambassador Sadiq, would you like to give your opening comments? We could say we saved the best for last, sir.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate what you have been doing, and you're doing an excellent job at moderating. I want to thank the president of the organization and the advisory group that have been working relentlessly for the last several months in putting this together. As far as AI is concerned, I know very little about it, but I want to learn a lot. And from this panel, I think I got a glimpse of what is coming tomorrow. You know, AI is something that is in its infancy today. And it is in its infancy that it's going to have a lot of growing pain, teething pain, and we should be all aware of it. It's not going to be a bed of roses. We are going to be encountering a lot of issues. You know, in the 80s and 90s, I worked with the Department of Commerce on how to get businesses online. Clicks, not bricks. That was their slogan. And they were very apprehensive. People did not know how secure the trade is going to be and how profitable it's going to be. Look at today. I mean, everybody does business online. Similarly, I think AI is going to be a part of our life, whether it's ChatGPT, whether it is WebMD, or anything you think about environment, education. AI is going to be an integral part of what we do as citizens of this world. But we have to be very careful. I don't think a full disclosure of the impact of AI, the challenges and the rewards are still there, but it's going to happen. And America is going to take the lead in this manner as they've already taken. I was told somewhere that in 2027, the AI opportunity will be over $1 trillion. So now, is this going to be spread out all over the world? I certainly hope so, because there are elements in AI that just like any other structural labor issues can be handled very well by other countries. But I'm eager to learn, and I think I'm going to be chairing a panel on AI tomorrow. So I really look forward to seeing you all, and thank you very much for your time and attention.
Okay, we have another round of questions, and you're all well trained, so to speak. I'd like the length of your answers, so let's keep it short, because we have another powerful panel coming in. But the mission of the Root Foundation is similar to the mission of the Greater New York Chamber of Commerce, to inspire, to educate. We help small businesses and entrepreneurs grow. We provide them the tools that Virginia Economic Development and the Mayor's Office here in DC want to provide, because when we help entrepreneurs and startups grow and we tax the industries properly, there's jobs created and people can put roofs over their heads. And by the way, I commend you on the remittance conference, because we are, and you heard it in the comments, providing a significant percentage to some of these developing countries of their whole gross domestic product. So we should put our hands together for the hard-working people that come over here but still have loved ones in the developing countries. So please, let's clap for the Root Foundation and that. But again, I'm going to go to the regulatory side of it. The ethics of digital finance, or the ability to hide huge amounts of money that we want to know where it's coming from. We want to know, and government takes a small piece of it for obvious reasons. The future, the environment, the security of the planet. I came down on an Amtrak. That can't be done on tickets alone. It would be price prohibitive. So government is very important. So digital finance, as well as artificial intelligence, the multiples are going up. It looks like it's here to stay. So let's start with the bankers again. Do you see your bank getting involved in digital finance? Are you involved, and do you see your role in it increasing? So I'm told we're a little bit behind on time. We started late, so if you could keep your answers to 90 seconds.
Yeah, very, very short. So yes. The answer is we are all looking forward to deepening our AI and digital finance capabilities. What it really means is agentic commerce, really, guys, because this is an area that AI is going to change in a big way, because you can now obviously go and click and buy stuff online without actually going in and filling online, going in and putting in your credit card details. It already happens in a way, but with an agentic framework, all you do is, I want to go to New York from DC, book me a train ticket on Amtrak. I put that in and authorize the card or the bank, and the ticket is already issued for you. It's already gone in your wallet. So that's the kind of rate of change that we're talking about.
Thank you. And our friend from Bangladesh, is your banking industry using digital finance more and more?
Thank you so much. Actually, yes, we are moving towards, but I can give you a real fact that our banking sector is under a transformation. There has been some setback for last couple of decades minus, maybe a couple of years. So we are going through some bit of regulatory changes in our banking sector. Therefore, the changes that we picked up in early times, it has been slowed down certainly, but we are again picking up with the government regulations and others. About the some of the services already that we have introduced in the banking sector, so that people can act very fast. And for example, opening an account, an individual need not to go to the bank. He can do it from his home even now in Bangladesh. And in digital finance, our credit cards, then debit cards, and this sort of services that we have now, it is now booming. But for the greater purpose, for an example, for sanction of loan, yet to be, and there are regulation aspects and also infrastructural that I spoke earlier that we lack is some infrastructure that relates and support the AI system. We are lacking in, and also regulation with that one.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much.
So, Mr. Perry, the DC Chamber, are they currently one of the committees focusing on digital finance or cryptocurrency? And you can keep your comments, you can answer that yes or no first.
Okay, I can say yes.
Yes, so can you give us a brief description of your activities?
Yeah, very brief. I mean, we do have a technology committee, and that technology committee is populated by people that are obviously in the industry or experts. And so there is ongoing discussion that is not developed into a white paper or any action alert that we would issue in terms of potential legislation or anything of that nature, but we are in discussions on the issue.
Oh, thank you. We should work together on that in the future. Ms. Brooks, anything you want to talk about the state in terms of what they're doing for digital finance or cryptocurrency, or we'll save that for a later date?
Yeah, I think we're getting summoned to our next session.
Oh, okay. And would the Commissioner of the District of Columbia like to maybe briefly touch on the topic?
Real brief. Yes, in our office we have an AI crypto working group where we meet on a regular basis and monitor a lot of the trends and changes as it relates to our regulatory function. And we also review a number of the bills that are coming out of the federal government, but that is something that my team and I are very much focused on as it relates to our role as a regulator.
Oh, we would love to work with your great DC and your state, and we're going to have to ask more questions throughout the conference tomorrow, and during dinner we can network and talk more. I'm going to turn it back to the president of Roots Foundation to introduce the next portion of our program.
Thank you, Mark. Mark has been a very good friend of ours for several years. Sorry, we're in a little bit of a time constraint. We have another session. And after that, we'll have a dinner. The next session is, let me see, hold on. Okay, our next session, our moderator is Mr. Abik Sanwar Rahman. It's a public-private dialogue on financial policy, payment reform, and cost efficiency. I'd like to invite Mr. Abik Sanwar Rahman to take the podium. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to our, almost like this is the first session. And the session is about this international investment, digital finance, and how public-private dialogue actually contribute to these sorts of investment. I would like to invite in the stage Dr. Abdul Noor, Chair of this session. Then Ambassador Harry K. Thomas, as the Speaker. Then Mr. John Danilovich as the Speaker. Mr. Pradeep Ganguly. Mr. Raihan Elahi, Dr. Virupa Khopal, Mr. Bal K. Joshi, Mr. Mohammad Harun Rashid, Mr. Kamal Qadir, Mr. Sanjeev Chashipura. If you are here, please come and on the stage. because we'll be starting this discussion soon.
No. Only two. Only two, please. No, there's no. Only two.
That's true.
The announcement is everyone is here. I know Mr. Ambassador is here, Mr. John Nalanovich is here, but Mr. Pradeep Ganguly, is it here? Mr. Dr. Paul? Yes. Dr. Paul. Sorry, it looks like a present and absent type of thing, but sorry for that. Mr. Balke Joshi? Okay. Mr. Harun Rashid is there. Mr. Kamal Qadir is not here, okay. Mr. Sanjeev Gashipura, alright, thank you. So we're missing Mr. Kamal Qadir and Mr. Pradeep Ganguly is not here, okay. So I will hand over the mic to the chairman, Dr. Abdul Noor.
Thank you very much. Allow me to welcome all of you for this distinctive, innovative and new program for which the opening ceremony was a remarkable accomplishment which started with artificial intelligence. And I thank all the presenters, including Ambassador Usman Siddiq and Raisa Faisal, for organizing the first session so well with such a distinguished speakers. Now, this was on AIE. Now, we, the moderator and myself, we are not investors. We are not the people with the AIE. We are simply listeners of the common sense, right? Yeah. So we would like to make this session little bit common sense oriented, and we'll focus, let me request my panelists here, we'll focus on the theme of public-private dialogue for international investment. So let's focus our theme on this public-private dialogue for international investment. Let us talk our thoughts on it. And these are international investments for the 5 or 6 countries that are participating now. And let us focus our thoughts on that. And let each of the panelists talk about 2 to 3 minutes on bullet points so that we can understand and may suggest something which is for the future of how we can strengthen the dialogue between the public and private for international investment in the participating countries. And Irving will call upon each panelist and will also monitor the time, which will be maximum 3 minutes, I believe, right? Otherwise, we'll delay the dinner and with the cards for that.
Thank you, Dr. Noor. Yes, it's indeed private-public dialogue, how this could contribute to the investment. That is our question. And to answer it, I would start with no one but Dr. Birbal Gopal to help me with this, because I don't want to talk about this thing much. Dr. Birbal Gopal also, he is a professor of economics at the State University of New York. He was also advisor for Bangladesh Bank earlier. And so I think he's the right person to talk about public-private partnership and investment. And he is also the advisor for this Root Foundation USA. Thank you, Dr. Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Actually, partnership, public-private partnership, PPP, this is in many countries a dysfunctional concept because public moves in a different way, the public entity, government, and private actually goes for efficiency, more efficiency. Government runs by bureaucracy, particularly given the experience of Bangladesh and developing other developing countries, particularly in South Asia. So still, why do we need public-private and partnership, this type of thing? Because of big projects. And these countries are contributing to growth to a great extent, global growth also. But at the same time, it is lagging behind in terms of infrastructure. So when it is the question of infrastructure, public-private partnership is not only good for private, it is more good, it's much better for the government to learn from the private enterprises how efficiently they can manage. Because without their private participation, public enterprises are actually concepts of failure in many cases, as we have seen from history. Public enterprises are bleeding. They are losing enterprises. Even in airlines, when it is under public enterprise, it is losing. So that is what we need, public-private entrepreneurship for, to some extent, infrastructure, to some extent, new ideas, and what we have just learned that AI, for example, AI. Government is lagging behind in AI, and it is the initiative of the private enterprises who can lead the engine of AI. So it is for the betterment of the government that private should be engaged in its infrastructure, AI, technology, education, banking, and also growth generation. Because public enterprises cannot generate much growth. And they are subject to inefficiency by default. And look at the history of public enterprises, public banks sometimes. But still we need it because private enterprises, their objective is maximize profit. Most of the time, maximize profit. But public enterprises must run not objective of profit, but objective of welfare. For example, public universities, public banks, will have branches in rural areas, and private enterprises may not like it. So it is a kind of balance, but gradually the more development is coming, the world is moving towards more private and responsible private enterprises, and government should be a regulator, not a business participant. In business, government is no good. So that is my take, that gradually, though it is at the beginning time, we need PPP, but actually government should, just like Adam Smith's theory of hands-off in most cases, so that it can equip the private enterprises to become more efficient, more growth generating, and more competent to fight in globalization and in the world of AI. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Paul. So comprehensive and so easy to understand why this public-private dialogue is needed. As well as I will ask now Mr. Mohammad Harun Rashid, who has come a long way from Bangladesh to attend this conference. He is a Director Foreign Exchange Policy Department, Bangladesh Bank. So it relates that what Dr. Paul said about this thing. I would ask to highlight Mr. Rashid to talk about what is the plan for Bangladesh Bank or the government for travel. Thank you.
Just to let you know that Bangladesh has introduced a nano loan. Mr. Moderator, Mr. Chairman, and distinguished guests, and my fellow speakers of this session. And you know that Bangladesh has introduced nano loan. It is a small loan, but it goes to mass people, I worry of digital conference, transmission channel. But is it possible to operate this loan by a public enterprise like central bank? Is it not possible? And this is a common question that, as Dr. Paul has said, that public and private, if I say in another way, that it is a regulator and regulatory, but there should be a handshake between these two parts to reach that goal. Until that, it is not possible. And if we look at our experience in Bangladesh, that Bangladesh has introduced a digital platform to move money domestically by way of mobile financial service providers. And this has Bangladesh has assisted tremendous development in financial inclusion by way of the introduction of mobile financial services in Bangladesh. And Bangladesh Bank has also allowed our local mobile financial operators, including payment service providers, to make handshake with overseas counterparts to channel inward remittances. And the 2 days session relates to public-private partnership and payment system. And payment system is a factor in this regard, particularly cross-border transaction. Recently, I have a peculiar experience. I attended an IMF program, and IMF has given me a small amount, and this has been routed from New York to Bangladesh. It takes huge time. And how it is possible? It should be real-time transmission, but there are different types of layers, and the layer makes the payment reach to the beneficiary. It takes 2 weeks. And for that reason, as you know, that Bangladesh is basically dependent on OS remittance, and OS remittance is channeled by way of money transfer operator, that is exchange houses. And in recent past, Bangladesh has introduced online payment gateway, international card service, and different types of digital platform to make the payment settlement near to real time. And for that reason, Bangladesh has already instructed all commercial banks to set up STP so that the maximum settlement time cannot exceed 3 working days. And Bangladesh Bank is working to facilitate real-time transaction by way of blockchain technology. Thank you. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rashid, for your insight. These are the government policy level talk we just heard, that is called public. And I would like to request Mr. Balke Joshi. He is the CEO of Shuno. I think there's money transfer and things like this. So how your experience is regarding this public-private dialogue and how it is contributing to the economy and investment?
So thank you so very much. So I think what Rashid said, I think so let's look at the problems, right? So the problem is money moving late, and then the transformation is money moving real time, right? So I think money moving real time is not private sector's job, but it's I think more of a public sector job. So what am I doing is I'm building a very interesting company where actually we're modernizing what we're doing is we're actually modernizing corresponding banking network, right? So in fact, actually, we have a banking license out of Vermont, where we're probably, designing one of the world's first programmable cross-border banking, a corresponding banking network. So if you look at the cross-border payment, right? So why is the cost expensive? The reason the cost is expensive is because of the pre-funding cost. Forget about the regulatory aspect of it, right? So the reason is because, like Mr. Rashid here, kindly shared that actually it may take up to even weeks or even 2 weeks for money to move. And the reason is basically, like, I'm also from Nepal, so I work between my offices in Nepal and also in the US. In Nepal, we're already connected to RTP. In terms of the real-time payment network, we've probably been there for almost 8 to 10 years, so we're quite ahead of the US, right? Now, finally in the US, we're seeing FedNow,
Now with US finally seeing RTP, and finally with the Genius Act, we're seeing basically adoption of stable coin, right? So if you look at this whole industry and you see the friction, the cost, right, the speed, the visibility, forex challenge and all of that. So what we failed to do in the US, which is the center of global money movement, is the modernization of correspondent banking network, which is built on top of FedNow, RTP, right, and then obviously stablecoin. Now it took almost 10 years to figure out this infrastructure. Now we have Zelle, but Zelle is a closed network. But RTP, FedNow, stablecoin, it's an open architecture. So I think we will probably be one of the first banks, first correspondent bank in the US to modernize that, right? So part one is, so especially the modernizing the payment is not private sector's job, right? And in fact, it's public sector job. Now private sector. So believe it or not, we've actually figured out how to move the cost down to zero, right? If you take the pre-funding piece out of the equation, right? The cost of moving money is, let's just say, fiat, right? And fiat cost is less than 5 cents flat, right? So what we've really done is, because public infrastructures are evolving in the speed and the way it does, now the pre-funding cost is going to zero, right? The processing cost is flat, and on top of that, the regulatory, aspects of it, where now the programmable banking or the banking as a service, or what they also call, composable financial infrastructure, basically enabling the cost of the capex that is required to have a regulatory framework also coming to significantly less, right? So in terms of public, right, adoption of basically programmable banking over banking as a service, that is the future. Adoption of RTP, stablecoin, and FedNow, that is the future. But what was really missing, and that's exactly what Zuno is doing. So Zuno is a very uniquely positioned company. So what we're doing is, over a correspondent bank, we are connecting banks both in the US and both outside the US, right? So all of us here in the room understand the whole, opportunities and frictions of cross-border payments very well. What's happening to the margin, right? So the margin is pretty much disappearing. So how are you going to basically build a case? The only way to basically, acquire a customer right now is lose money, offer more exchange rate, offer zero fees, and acquire. But that era is pretty much coming to an end. So because of these adoptions of, new payment technologies that have emerged and that has taken almost 10 years in the US for adoption, this is now quickly going to change in the coming years. And we're really, really happy to be excited to be kind of pioneering this field in the US. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for your, what should I say, that how you personally felt about this market. And we'll talk about in the next seminar, tomorrow. There will be, please, if you are interested, please join us tomorrow. There will be more depth understanding. Many of these words have gone over my head, sorry. Anyway, sorry, but thanks, Mr. Joshi. I will now request Mr. Sanjeev Joshipura, Executive Director, India Spora. That we have seen that one of our businessmen has talked about this, how this public-private partnership goes. What is your take regarding this? You're in India Spora. I mean, you're with the diaspora. So, and India is a very big community as well as business community in America, and it's a very big country. So, how is your experience in public-private dialogue from your country and from USA, and what you are doing for this India Spora? Just within 3-4 minutes, if you can highlight it.
Thank you. I'll be very brief. Thank you to the organizers, and delighted to be here with my distinguished co-panelists. Just a very brief introduction about Indiaspora. We are a non-profit organization that was founded 14 years ago, and our mission is to inspire and position the global Indian diaspora to be a force for good around the world, and to connect diaspora leaders with leaders resident in India across a variety of countries and a variety of professions. Recently, we released a report about how the global Indian diaspora can work with India towards a developed India in 2047. 2047 because that would be 100 years since the time India achieved independence. My comments will be from an India lens, but I suspect that some of this may indeed be applicable to various other countries in South Asia. First of all, and I'll marry the public-private partnership question with some of what the previous panelists have said on AI and as well as the topic of the conference itself, remittances. First of all, there are 35 million Indian diaspora living around the world in different countries. If their annual wealth was taken together, composite, it would be a total of 730 billion US dollars. That does not include wealth from assets. This is all from our report that was deeply studied and researched. It's available on our website in diaspora.org. Why do I bring this up? Because remittances play an extremely important role in the relationship between diaspora and India itself. In fact, just from the United States, talking about your question specifically, bringing it to the US, over $120 billion of money was remitted by the diaspora in the United States to India last year alone.
Wow.
This constitutes about 47% of India's merchandise trade, and it also is larger than the amount of foreign direct investment that is received by India annually. So it's a very significant amount of money. That's one. Second, the other source, the second largest source, which until a few years ago was the largest of remittances into India from foreign countries, came from the Gulf. UAE, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, etc. It's still the second largest. The reason I bring that up is because of the war currently going on, and hopefully things have quieted down. But because of that, that channel has been impacted in various ways. So it's something to be mindful of as one thinks about remittances and as one thinks about digital finance as well. Because as we know, America has enormous control over the global SWIFT network and so forth of financial trading and remittances and currency flows. Third, in terms of the public aspect of public-private partnerships, which was alluded to in at the very start of this panel, India has what some of you may know called an India Stack. It's basically a group of various layers of software and ecosystems that have been designed for the public good by India, that are freely available, that help with financial transfers. Now, not only in India, for example, here in the United States, I live in Washington, D.C. I carry credit cards. A lot of my friends and relatives and family in India don't, because a lot of their payments are done by digital pay, right? And there are several countries in the world that are either adopting this formula from India, some of them which are modifying it based on their own needs, and others are just viewing it as an interesting experiment that could perhaps be replicated in the global south in the future, right? That's my third point on the public side. My last point, and I'll be very brief, I know you've given me only 3 or 4 minutes and I'll stick to my time because I want to hear from the other panelists as well. You know, the private part of this, of the public-private equation, is on the AI side that was referred to in the last panel before we came up on stage. I'm not a technologist, I'm not an entrepreneur, and so I don't have the answers. But at a very sort of ethereal level, if you will, at a 50,000 foot level, I sense that there is an enormous opportunity for digital payment disruption in the ecosystem by using AI. Perhaps there are other panelists here who are from private sector companies who can speak to that. I know that there was a panelist or two in the last panel as well who alluded to this as well. But in cross-border remittances and finance, working with a series of stakeholders, including government, regulators, financial services companies, and sometimes disrupting existing financial services models, I think there is a tremendous opportunity using AI, given the scale and the scope of the money that we are referring to. If we talked about just $120+ billion from the US alone to India alone in just 1 year. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Thanks a lot, Mr. Jashipura. As you mentioned about the war, I would like to share something. even if the Strait of Hormuz reopens tomorrow, it is open already, but still this is a comment from April 15. The damage will not undo itself overnight. That is the message from the head of the World Bank, who spoke to CNBC's Karen Stowe at the IMF spring meeting on April 15, saying, countries affected by the Iran war should brace for methods of disruption even after shipping routes are restored. Quote, it will still take a few months for things to come back to where they were, unquote. With this quote and unquote, I will request Mr. Raihan Elahi, Chief Lead Energy Specialist, World Bank. Not you have to talk about this, what the World Bank President says, but you as a representative of World Bank, you might give us some understanding that what could happen in this critical situation. Mr.
Thank you. As Mr. Obi said, that I work for the World Bank and I am a lead energy specialist. But today I am not here on my official capacity. So probably I will stay away from what World Bank does or think. And I also wanted to thank the organizers for inviting me in this session. And I'll try to stick to what the chair has said at the very beginning, that we should talk about things which are maybe guided by common sense. And the reason I wanted to say that is because what I found is common sense is not very common. And that's why we see what's happening all around us. And also to speak on the topic, which is public-private dialogue, I think it's very critical to also make sure that for a successful dialogue to take place between public and private sector, they should at least speak in the same language, same voice. And if the level of skill and capacity is very different between the public sector and the private sector, then we can imagine where the dialogue will lead to. So it's also very important for these PPPs to happen and to take place. The level of capacity within the government and within the private sector at least are at par. Today we are talking about digital inclusion, digital finance, we are talking about AI, and the way the private sector is moving on with AI, with the governments need to benefit from this AI. The question is, does the governments of the countries we are talking about, do they have the right capacity within the government to start discussing, negotiating, signing contracts? Because if they are not, then they may be taken up for a ride. And we know that only successful businesses happen when there is a win-win agreement. So that, I think, is at the crux of the matter for now, because otherwise we may not see successful deals happening. That's one. Second, we heard about what governments need to do, what private sector needs to do, and we should also keep in mind that private sector is also not a panacea. I mean, private sector also has their interests. They are actually investing their money for profits. And government also has a responsibility, and that is ensuring service delivery to the people. And that is why government needs to make sure that how can they engage private sector? How can they incentivize the private sector to invest their money in a different government, different country, and then expect to get a return over a 10, 15, 20-year period. So that level of comfort, if they cannot be given to the private sector, then we won't see the private sector coming up and investing in countries. So this is why it's not only the ability to speak in the same language, but also the ability of ensuring trust, ensuring sustainability in the country, safe exit routes for the private sector to exit when they have made returns and delivered service are all very critical. And for that, regulation is very important. But again, the question is, when a sector is at a very inception stage, let's say for AI, and we don't know that how the AI will look like 2 years from today, how do you set regulations? So these, I think, are very practical challenges, and that's why there needs to be efforts made between the governments to figure out how they can benefit from these new innovations so that they can actually benefit from the gains of this innovation. Otherwise, they will remain at the tail end. I think, given the time restriction, I will stop today now. Thank you.
Yeah, you mentioned about the trust, public and private, private trust of the private, and we saw that, never mind, it's going political, but I have to say, like Donald Trump was telling, it is open, why don't you go? But the private shipping companies, these, tankers, oil tankers, they didn't take the risk, because this Lloyd of London, who actually give the insurance to them, their insurance rate is too high, and so this trust has to be there. Even the government says, okay, go, but if there is the public, private companies are not trust. So, in this regard, I will request His Excellency, Ambassador Harry K. Thomas Jr., Senior Fellow, Jackson School of Global Affairs, Yale University, and former US Ambassador, and he was very popular in Bangladesh. Sir, please highlight or give us some idea that how global affairs, how policymakers can contribute or link this investment for global affairs. Thank you.
Thank you, and again, good evening. It really is an honor and distinction to be here. I served in 7 countries, and Bangladesh remains my favorite. My wife is from the Philippines, and trust me, she gets tired of me saying that Bangladesh was a favorite place I lived in.
So there are many Bangladeshi people here.
The Qazi Nazrul Islam's great poem, Vidroi, the Rebel, asks us, celebrates breaking old chains and establishing new systems. That is the task this weekend, to have the courage to get rid of outdated systems and make sure that every taka reaches people in the fastest manner and at the lowest cost. Bangladesh, $33 billion was sent from the diaspora to Bangladesh last year. 5.62% of the GDP. 5 years ago, it was 24 billion. So it will continue to increase, continue to be part of the GDP. And as our friend showed us and told us, it is larger than foreign direct investment in Bangladesh as it is in India.
Just an announcement, one of the speakers, Mr. Kamal Kadir, founder and CEO of Bikash, has just arrived. We will request him to come to the stage. We are waiting for him. Sorry, sir.
No. I seriously am a student. I feel like a chamcha up here, you know? I knew my Indian friend would laugh. But seriously, as a major remittance sending country, the United States has an especially important role to play. I see 4 concrete areas for U.S. action: modernizing access to payment, infrastructure, updating anti-money laundering, and bank secrecy rules through a smarter risk-based approach suited to the digital age. Committing to the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal of reducing transfer costs to 3%. The global average remains above 6%, more than double that target in supporting regulatory sandboxes and technical assistance through the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation and multilateral channels. I applaud Prime Minister Rahman's administration is taking work to gain access to DFC, but the timeline to DFC access will depend on how quickly and credibly the reforms are implemented and verified. In conclusion, everything is interconnected. You need more electricity in Bangladesh, more access to mobile phones, less use of cash, and education of women and giving women access to phones so they too can engage in the digital market. And that is a cultural challenge that needs to be overcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Ambassador Erika Thomas. I just arrived, Mr. Kamal Khadir, founder and CEO Bcash, very popular in Bangladesh. I request him to share with us, with the audience, about your experience, because these are all idea you people generate, but idea is not the practical thing always. It takes lots of things to do. And our today's subject is private-public dialogue and investment. How can private-public dialogue contribute or influence investment? Okay, for my chair say it has to be in 3 minutes. Very tough, but.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me, and Ambassador Osman Siddiqui has somewhat inspired me to come. Well, I mean, any idea represents 1%. It's the implementation is at 99%. And particularly in the case of Bangladesh, where I work, you need to persevere and continue to pursue with a very single-minded goal. Otherwise, you get diverted very easily. In terms of private-public participation, see, there's no shortage of capital in the world. Where do we have some challenge is confidence. So, yes, country like Bangladesh with 175 million people, there's tremendous opportunities, and there's tremendous opportunities for the people with capital to invest there. But unless we generate sufficient confidence, people would not be investing. So it's very important any institution we build has the right governance. So in the pot where you're putting the money, people know where the money is going. So any public-private participation, that's something that I would be always keeping in mind, that the governance quality, and without that, it's impossible to do anything. I mean, in the case of Bcash, we raised $382 million foreign direct investment to Bangladesh, but it's purely due to the governance quality we were able to do that. So that's from my own learning from being a cheeseburger eating entrepreneur and being Bcash where it is today. It's purely maintaining governance quality, and even in a country like Bangladesh, it can be done, and Bcash is a testament of that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So sweet and smooth, so articulated. Now I would like to request Mr. John Danilovich, independent foreign policy analyst, retired senior foreign service officer, I served under him, and editor at large of Essay Perspectives. So please highlight this. I know that you are very much in Bangladesh as well as in Pakistan. So this is South Asian forum here or conference here as well, and you are an American, and you know this bilateral thing regarding America and you and other countries. So please highlight something that how America can help regarding public-private dialogue in those or in South Asian countries. Thank you.
Sure, it's a big topic, and I'm conscious of the time, so I'll just hit some high-level points. The first thing I would say is that we all need to keep in mind the tremendous changes that have been happening in the world in recent years, including in South Asia. And we all know what happened in Bangladesh in the summer of 2024, and we saw what happened in Nepal, and we see similar trends and forces at work elsewhere in the region. Frankly, we've seen some of these elements of populism, as it were, in the United States and elsewhere as well. So I think one part of this that we haven't talked about but needs to be kept in mind is the partnership between the government and the people who are governed, the social contract in these countries. Bangladesh, Nepal, others have a tremendous opportunity now to redefine that partnership, and we'll all watch to see how the new governments in these countries move forward. In terms of the relationship with the U.S., the relationship between the U.S. and many countries in the world has changed fundamentally during the Trump administration. It's no secret that President Trump has a different approach to international relations. I think, though, for those of us in the room thinking about this, there are opportunities here as well. And one of the benefits or one of the opportunities in dealing with the Trump administration is that President Trump is very clear what's important to him. And when it comes to Bangladesh or other countries, he's certainly elevated the importance of the private sector, the importance of trade and investment relationships. So again, we see this playing out in Bangladesh. We recently had the visit by the Bangladeshi finance minister and delegation, and they had a wide range of consultations with international partners, with the U.S. government, and with the U.S. private sector. So I think there's tremendous opportunities to expand here now. And I think what's fortunate is that currently for the United States and Bangladesh, the relationship is probably as good as it's been. I mentioned before the importance of the region, and I'll come back to that. Certainly within South Asia, India is the most significant global power, but there are important other states in the region. And we've seen, again, people have talked about the importance of Bangladesh, both in terms of its geostrategic location, the role of its people, the markets, etc. And then we've all seen what's been happening with Pakistan playing an oversized role in the international stage these days, helping to bring the war in Iran to hopefully a swift conclusion. So again, I think the developments within the region and the linkages outside the region are significant to watch. Two other points just to make. When we talk about whether it's the government to people coordination or government to government, I think we do have to keep in mind the importance of engaging with the rising generations. Again, famously in Bangladesh and Nepal, change came because of the role played by the famous Gen Z. These individuals have aspirations, they have needs, and they have earned, I think, a place at the table. So their voices need to be listened to as well. And the final point I'll make is, again, the critical role of the diaspora. We've seen this in terms of the remittances, which was mentioned, the opportunities for exchanges, whether it be in education and culture, the opportunities for investment and trade, etc. So I think one of the challenges for all of the countries in the region is to find ways to engage the diaspora more effectively. The final thing I would say, and again, this topic has come up in a number of conversations I've had, is the concept of competition. At times, people see this as zero-sum, particularly within the region. If you look at, if you're Bangladesh or India or Nepal or Pakistan, you're looking at opportunities in the United States. On the one hand, you can see that these countries compete with one another. I think for many of the companies, in this space we're talking about, they're competitors. But competition isn't a bad thing. In fact, it's fundamental to our capitalist system. And the idea being that competition is a good thing. Competition allows and forces everyone to bring out their best. So I think the mindset that I would encourage everyone to look at is to look for areas of collaboration, acknowledge competition, and then conclude that these two are not necessarily in tension. So I'll stop there. Thank you.
Well, thank you, sir. I would like to request Dr. Noor to summarize this session. Yeah, please.
I've been sitting too long. Thank you, Momin. I've been sitting too long, so I need to stand straight up. Have you noticed how beautifully and amazingly Momin has moderated the session? Smooth, simple, with efficiency, and keeping the time without hardening any of the panelists, right? So please have a big clap for Momin. It was my pleasure to listen to each of the speakers, and the time of wealth, wisdom, and the aspirations each of the panelists, each of the speakers has outpoured to us, to this audience. Let me note a few of them. Virupakha said that we must learn from the private sector. The public sector must learn from the private sector. And especially in the areas of infrastructure, education, health, and others. Harun of Bangladesh Bank talked about the efficiency of business and how the Bangladesh Bank and the other institutions are making their systems, especially the transactions, efficient. Mr. Joshi talked about cost minimization, a subject which is again forward-looking that we need to understand. Rahan Elahi, my colleague from the World Bank, my junior, he talked about one very important element is while we are creating the dialogue between the public and the private sector, the dialogue should have a similar wavelength and on an equal basis so that people can understand each other, trust each other, and they can understand the mutual responsibilities of each party. Let me see, Harry Thomas, Ambassador Harry Thomas, your work to Bangladesh is still appreciated by everyone and people remembers you all the time. And you talked rightly that many of the countries in our system has outdated system and requires to be replaced, but it has to be replacement or reformation or change, whatever it is. Ambassador Harry Potter, you have rightly said, has to be interconnected. Kamrul Kadir of Bikash talked about one thing which is very important, that any entrepreneur and a new entrepreneur who are placing your hand in a subject must have a confidence, a genuine confidence to move ahead, and it is a lesson that this group who are moving ahead should know and learn. We must research, we must understand it, do our work, but move with confidence. And then Sanjeev talked about the diaspora, the contribution of the Indian diaspora, as well as the richness and the necessity of bringing the diaspora of Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and all other countries. Have I missed anyone? No. Have I missed any of the panelists? No. So, in summer, I found from the speech of the panelists that they are forward-looking, very positive, and very hopeful. It looked to me that we, the 5 countries in the region, with USA, or 6 countries in the region with the USA, are eager to bloom ourselves, these developing countries, into a purpose through insights, inquiries, understandings, and depth. And to my mind, I write novels. I wrote my recent novel is on Indian diaspora and their contribution to the economic development and others. So I thought we can sum up in one word what this session has talked about. It's called Buni Peace, combination of 5 countries, capital letters, B, U, N, Nepal, India, Pakistan, India, and Sri Lanka. Buni Peace is the word which says something is blooming into a prosperous and transformation. Let unity be our goal. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Noor. I would now hand over the microphone to Mr. Rahan.
Thank you, Mr. Abid Sanwar Rahman, to conduct this session. Now this session is over. We're going to empty the chairs and then we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony. Thank you all again. We'll call you back here. Can you clear all the chairs, please? From the stage. Our ribbon cutting ceremony is our next event. Can we clear the chairs? Okay. Saha, can you clear the chairs? I'm here to clear the chairs. Oh. We will need this chair tomorrow. We'll need this chair tomorrow. Now we cannot have chairs on the floor. Thank you. Yeah, just keep the chairs. Okay, now we'll have a ribbon cutting ceremony. I'm going to call all the special guests. Come to the stage for ribbon cutting ceremony. Mr. Mark Jaffe, are you here? Can you come to the stage, please? And Mr. Ambassador Osman Siddiqui and Ms. Sarah Brooks, Ambassador Harry Thomas, I know we're interrupting food, dinner, apology. Ambassador Harry Thomas, are you here? Okay, Ms. Karima M. Woods, here? John Danielowitz here, please come to the stage. Tarun Kishnani, Keith Andrew Perry, Bangladesh Bank Mahbub Alam, and Mr. Sarwar from Bangladesh Bank, Abu Bakr Hanif, Chancellor, Chairman, Washington University, Salman Syed, Head of the Remittance Bank of Punjab, Pakistan. Please come to the stage. Major General MD Hakim Zaman, Trust Bank, Bangladesh, Miss Rukia Haider, please come to the stage. Faisal M. Rahman, one of our advisor and working behind the scene, please come to the stage. Ridwan Chaudhary, Anthony Gomez, and Mr. Habib Salwar Rahman, and of course Abdul Noor, Dr. Abdul Noor. We can have a two-row maybe. Mr. Abdul Noor. Okay. Okay, then Pradeep Ganguly. Rehan Elahi. Kamal Kadir. Founder and CEO, Bikash. Please come to the stage. He has left? Okay. And Sanjeev Joshipura, Executive Director in India's Forum. Okay, that's that. Where are you leaving?
সবাইকে আরেকটু এদিকে এনে সোজা করি
Yeah, we'd like to ask we want to invite Ambassador Harry K. Thomas. Please come to the stage.
Can we do one thing? Can you come a little bit closer so we can have all our heads? So we can do it together. Thank you. Hold for a second, please.
Mr. Rex Wempen is here. If you come to the stage. And he's a friend of our President of the United States, Donald Trump, Mr. Rex Wempen. Okay. Yeah, I think we can come to the front here. Everybody can be visible now people are checking. One row, if we come to the floor, will be better. Okay, sorry about this. One row behind and one touching. Yeah, here. Yeah, and then that can be seen because of the photo op. Okay. Okay, now, yes, you come in the front. Now everybody can be seen. We don't want here only we can have. Okay.
Bhaiya, ekটু মাঝখানে নিয়ে যান। Oh my bad. তাহলে মাঝখানে নিয়ে যান। It's okay if you take it in the middle.
Okay. Okay, yes. Okay, we'll walk opening.
Hold for a second. Hold for a second.
Hold for a second, okay.
1 second, please.
Okay.
We're taking a moment, please.
Okay, well, okay. Sorry. Okay, no, he's
taking a moment, please. We're taking a moment, please.
Okay, taking a moment, okay.
Yeah. Stand by. Here we go.
Okay, ready. Thank you. Here is the opening of this program. Thank you much. Okay, here we go. Thank you. Thank you all. Our detailed discussion will be really tomorrow. Today we will give short of time. So it's a dinner time now. Thank you much. Please have the dinner. We're providing dinner for tonight. Please, thank you much. Bye.
I'm not done.
So you gonna copy your data?
Yeah. I'll after this.
And I'm gonna copy my clips back to you.
Thank you, sir. অভিক ভাই অভিক ভাইয়া একটু একটা মিনিট একটু ধরেন, একটু বলেন যে আজকের জিনিসটা কেমন লাগছে, টোটাল আয়োজনটা
কেমনে বলবেন?
বলেন আপনি লাইভে আছেন
এটা ও আচ্ছা, আজকে যেই ঘটনাটা ঘটলো সেটা হচ্ছে যে ইনভেস্টমেন্ট অ্যান্ড ডিজিটাল ফিনান্স কনফারেন্স 2026 এই বছরে, এটা ডিসিতে হচ্ছে। এটা কালকেও হবে, আজকে হলো উদ্বোধন এবং একটা সেমিনার হলো, কালকেও হবে এটা। এটার কারণ হচ্ছে যে এখন যেই আমাদের সাউথ এশিয়ান কান্ট্রিগুলা তাদের ইনভেস্টমেন্ট ইন আমেরিকা, প্রাইভেট ইনভেস্টমেন্ট অ্যাজ ওয়েল অ্যাজ বিভিন্ন সাউথ এশিয়ান কান্ট্রিতে আমেরিকান ইনভেস্টমেন্ট বা ডায়াসপোরার ইনভেস্টমেন্ট, এটাকে কিভাবে বড় করা যায় বা এটাকে কিভাবে ইফেক্টিভ করা যায় পলিসি লেভেলে, সেটারই একটা প্রচেষ্টা এখানে করা হচ্ছে। এবং আপনারা দেখেছেন যে গভর্নমেন্ট লেভেল থেকে এসছে, আমেরিকান গভর্নমেন্ট লেভেল থেকে এসছে, এবং এই প্রাইভেট যারা আছে তারা এসছে, মানে প্রাইভেট পাবলিক একটা রিলেশন তৈরি করা, মেইনলি প্রাইভেট বিজনেস ডেভেলপমেন্ট এবং ইনভেস্টমেন্টের জন্য আমেরিকা এবং সাউথ এশিয়ান কান্ট্রিতে পলিসি ওয়ার্কটা কি হতে পারে সেটার ব্যাপারে আমরা আজকে কথা বলেছি এবং কালকেও এই ব্যাপারে কথা বলবো। এবং প্রযুক্তিগত ভাবনা এবং এছাড়াও আরো যে সমস্ত অন্তরায় রয়ে গেছে এই ইনভেস্টমেন্টের জন্য, কারণ এখন ইনভেস্টমেন্টের একটা বড় ব্যাপার দাঁড়িয়েছে। আফটার বলবো না, মানে ডিউরিং দ্য ওয়ার এবং আফটার দ্য ওয়ার দেখা যাবে যে প্রচুর ইনভেস্টমেন্ট দরকার হবে, এবং কারণ অর্থনৈতিক চালিকা শক্তিকে আবার পুনরুদ্ধার করার জন্য। ধন্যবাদ।
Audio is fine.
ডক্টর আপনার সাথে একটু জানতে চাই আজকে টোটাল অনুষ্ঠানটা নিয়ে আপনি কি ভাবছেন?
হ্যাঁ
ধরে যদি বলেন।
হ্যাঁ, না আমার হিসাবে এটা যেহেতু প্রথমবার হয়েছে, সো অনেক কিছু জানার হলো, আমরা জানতাম না, আমি জানতাম না, অ্যাটলিস্ট আমার জন্য আমি অনেক জ্ঞান অর্জন করেছি। সো এটা হচ্ছে ভবিষ্যতে ট্রেন্ডটা কি, সে ডিজিটাল ফাইন্যান্স অ্যান্ড ইনভেস্টমেন্ট। সো আপনাকে আমেরিকায় বসে ডিজিটাল মাধ্যমে বিভিন্ন দেশে আপনি বিনিয়োগ করতে পারেন, মানে এখানে ফোকাস করা হচ্ছে আমেরিকা এবং দক্ষিণ এশিয়ার দেশগুলোতে। সো আশা করি যারা এখানে পার্টিসিপেন্ট আছে, they learn a lot from here. So again, আমি এই প্রোগ্রামকে আরো wish them best of luck, যেন ভবিষ্যতে আরো ভালোভাবে করতে পারবে, আচ্ছা আরো উন্নত মানের হবে।
থ্যাংক ইউ
very much.
সো ফর এ সেকেন্ড আমরা একটু আপনার মন্তব্য জানতে চাচ্ছি আজকে অনুষ্ঠানের ব্যাপারে, একটু বলেন যে ওভারঅল
Well, the first international investment and digital finance conference is live. Well, the first international investment and digital finance conference 2026, যেটা আজকে হলো, এখানে অনেকগুলো স্পিকার এখানে এসেছেন, ওনারা ওনাদের এআই এবং ব্যাংকিং এটা নিয়ে অনেক ইম্পর্টেন্ট আলোচনা করেছেন, যেটা ব্যাংকিং সেক্টরের জন্য অনেক লাভজনক। কিভাবে আপনি ব্যাংকে সিকিউর করবেন কাস্টমারের কনজিউমারের ডেটাকে আপনি সিকিউর করবেন এবং ব্যাংকিংকে কিভাবে ভালনারেবিলিটি থেকে মুক্ত করবেন, সাইবার সিকিউরিটি কিভাবে ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করে, এআই ইমপ্লিমেন্ট করে কিভাবে প্রোডাক্টিভিটি বাড়ানো যায়, ব্যাক অফিসকে চালানো যায় এবং স্মুথলি আপনার ট্রানজেকশনগুলো করা যায়। কারণ প্রসিডিউরাল পথে যে ডকুমেন্ট ভিত্তিক যেভাবে চলছে এটা তো অনেক সময় লাগে, কিন্তু যখন এআই দিয়ে আপনার এআই কে ইউজ করা হয় তাহলে খুব কম সময়ে অনেকগুলো ডেটাকে অ্যানালাইজ করা যায়, তো সেইভাবে ডিসিশন নিতে সুবিধা হয়। এইটা নিয়ে অনেকে আলাপ করেছেন, খুবই ভালো লাগলো। একজন এখানে অনেকগুলো এক্সপার্ট লোক এসেছেন, আমার কাছে খুব ভালো লেগেছে যে আমি ওয়াশিংটন ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড টেকনোলজি থেকে, যেহেতু আমরা এআই নিয়ে কাজ করি, সাইবার সিকিউরিটি নিয়ে কাজ করি, লেটেস্ট টেকনোলজি নিয়ে কাজ করি, এডুকেশন নিয়ে কাজ করি, তো এখানে এসে নিজের যে অভিজ্ঞতা আছে তার মধ্যে আরো কিছু সংযুক্ত হলো।
বাংলাদেশের গভর্নমেন্ট যেভাবে আগাচ্ছে, আপনি তো অনেক বড় একটা রিসোর্স, আপনি তো এখানের মধ্যে পৃথিবীতে অনেক গর্বের একটা জায়গা যে আমেরিকায় রাজধানীতে ওয়াশিংটন ডিসিতে এমন একটা ইউনিভার্সিটি বাংলাদেশ ওন করে, এখানে 100টা দেশের স্টুডেন্ট বা তারও বেশি স্টুডেন্ট কাজ করে। সেই জায়গায় যে বাংলাদেশ যদি আপনার সাথে কাজ করতে চাই, কোন জায়গাটায় আপনার সাথে কাজ করার সুযোগ আছে?
ওয়েল, ডেফিনেটলি আমি বলবো যে স্কিল ডেভেলপমেন্টের উপরে বাংলাদেশে প্রায় 176 ইউনিভার্সিটি রয়েছে, তো সেখানে যদি লেটেস্ট টেকনোলজিক্যাল যে ইনোভেশন আছে, যেমন এআই নির্ভর যেসব কোর্স কারিকুলাম রয়েছে, সাইবার সিকিউরিটি বা টেকনোলজি রিলেটেড যেসব কোর্স কারিকুলাম রয়েছে, এগুলোর আলোকে যদি আপনার স্কিলকে সন্নিবিষ্ট করা যায় এবং এডুকেশনের মধ্যে যদি এটাকে ইন্টিগ্রেট করা যায়, তাহলে প্রত্যেকে হ্যান্ডস অন কাজ করে, হ্যান্ডস অন লার্ন করে সে বাংলাদেশে বসেই পৃথিবীর যে কোনো জায়গায় কাজ করতে পারবে। আমরা ওয়াশিংটন ইউনিভার্সিটি অফ সায়েন্স অ্যান্ড টেকনোলজি এখানে ট্রিপল মিশন নিয়ে কাজ করি, ডিগ্রি, স্কিল, জব, তো যাতে করে ইচ অ্যান্ড এভরি স্টুডেন্ট পড়াশোনার পাশাপাশি সে স্কিলড হয় এবং ইনস্টেড অফ এন্ট্রি লেভেল জব খোঁজার পরিবর্তে সে মিড টু সিনিয়র লেভেল জব পায়। তো এই অভিজ্ঞতা যেহেতু আমাদের আছে, এই অভিজ্ঞতার আলোকে বাংলাদেশের সকল ইউনিভার্সিটির সাথে কাজ করা যায়, প্রাইভেট পাবলিক সকল ইউনিভার্সিটিতে কাজ করা যায়, যাতে করে বাংলাদেশে যাতে বেকার না থাকে। কেউ হয়তো শুধু বিসিএস এর উপর, বিসিএস ক্যাটাগরির উপর নির্ভর না করে সে যাতে প্রোডাক্টিভ হতে পারে, তো ওইটার আলোকে আমরা অনেক সহযোগিতা করতে পারি। কারণ এটা আমাদের যে 161 ফ্যাকাল্টি মেম্বার আছে, প্রত্যেকেই স্কলার প্লাস প্র্যাকটিশনার, তাদের ইন্ডাস্ট্রি এক্সপিরিয়েন্স রয়েছে। সেই আলোকে আমরা কোর্স কারিকুলামকে সাজিয়েছি এবং ক্লাসরুমকে আমরা এমনভাবে তৈরি করেছি ওয়ার্ক প্লেসের মতো, ক্রিয়েটিং দ্য রেপ্লিকা অফ ওয়ার্ক এনভায়রনমেন্ট ইনটু দ্য ক্লাসরুম সেটিংস। সো এগুলো আমরা বাংলাদেশে গভর্নমেন্টের সাথে শেয়ার করতে পারি, বাংলাদেশের মানুষ অনেক উপকৃত হতে পারে।
আপনার ইউনিভার্সিটিতে কখন বাংলাদেশ রাইজিং এর মতো নেক্সট ইভেন্ট আপনি আয়োজন করছেন?
যে
আপনার ইউনিভার্সিটি কখন আপনি আয়োজন করছেন বাংলাদেশ রাইজিং এর মতো?
ওয়েল, এনি টাইম, লাইক ডেফিনেটলি বাংলাদেশ নিয়ে আমি যেহেতু ভাবি, আমার বাংলাদেশি স্টুডেন্টে আমার ইউনিভার্সিটিতে প্রায় 1000-এর মতো রয়েছে, তো ডেফিনেটলি এটা বাংলাদেশকে অ্যাকচুয়ালি রিপ্রেজেন্ট করে। যদিও এটা আমেরিকান ইউনিভার্সিটি, বাট আমরা চাই যে বাংলাদেশ থেকে স্কলারশিপ নিয়ে এইসব স্টুডেন্টগুলো এখানে এসে পড়াশোনা করে ফরচুন 100, ফরচুন 500 কোম্পানিতে কাজ করতে পারে। তো সেই হিসাবে আমরা আমাদের নিয়মিতভাবে সাইবার সিকিউরিটি, এআইয়ের উপরে অনেক সেমিনার হচ্ছে এবং আমরা ওখানে হ্যাকাথন, বিল্ডাথন এগুলা আমরা করছি ল্যাব ওরিয়েন্টেড ওয়েতে। তো ডেফিনেটলি এরকম কনফারেন্স আমরা গত বছরও করেছি, এবারও আমাদের হয়তো আরো কয়েক মাসের মধ্যে জুন জুলাইয়ের দিকে একটা কনফারেন্স আমরা করব। থ্যাংক ইউ ভেরি মাচ।
জাস্ট বলেন যে উই এন লাইভ, আজকে টোটাল আয়োজনটার ব্যাপারে হাউ ইউ ফিল, আজকে আয়োজনটার বিষয়ে।
So this is the first international investment and digital conference in Washington DC. I'm fortunate enough to be one of the board members. Yes, so I'm one of the board member for this conference that's taking place in Washington DC. It's a 2-day event, Friday and Saturday, all day tomorrow, and it is inspiring to see so many people, not only the diaspora community, but also the big investors, innovators, entrepreneurs, and the government official from the DC, from Virginia, and from Maryland are here to participate, including Bangladesh Bank, very high-level officials from Bangladesh Bank and World Bank are here to talk about how diaspora can invest in Bangladesh and also how Bangladeshi can invest in Washington, D.C. or in the United States at large. So this is an excellent conversation took place in the last 2 sessions. We have a number of different sessions tomorrow all day. So please be here. The seminar starts in the morning at 11 and then with a break for lunch. Then we'll resume again at 2 p.m. all the way until 6 p.m. conclude by cultural activity. So good to be here. I hope to see you all tomorrow from the greater Washington, D.C.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
কবিতা পা জাস্ট 1 সেকেন্ড কবিতা পা যদি একটা জিনিস বলেন যে কেমন লাগছে আজকে অনুষ্ঠানটা জি যদি একটু এক মিনিট কোনো শুভেচ্ছা বার্তা
আমার তো অন দ্য স্পট ফেলে দাও সব সময়
আপনার লাইভে আছে
এলাম মাত্র এই প্রথম ওয়াশিংটন ডিসিতে হচ্ছে ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ইনভেস্টমেন্ট অ্যান্ড ডিজিটাল ফাইন্যান্স কনফারেন্স 2026 তো খুব সুন্দর আয়োজন খুব অল্প সময়ে হয়েছে খুব সুন্দর আয়োজন করেছে এবং আসলাম দেখলাম আজকে প্রথম উদ্বোধন হলো আর ভালো লাগছে চেনা মুখ সবাই এবং তরুণ ইনভেস্টরদেরকে দেখছি দেশ থেকে কিছু এসেছেন যা বিভিন্ন অঙ্গরাজ্য থেকে এসেছেন নিউ ইয়র্ক থেকেও আছেন আমাদের এই অঞ্চলেরও আছেন ভালো লাগছে সবাইকে এবং শুভকামনা থাকলো এটার জন্য
ভাই একটু যদি বলেন যে আজকে
আমি বলবো ধন্যবাদ খুব ভালো লাগলো এখানে এসে অনেক কিছু জানতে পারলাম ইনভেস্টমেন্ট কিভাবে আমেরিকা থেকে বাংলাদেশে বা আমাদের ওই এলাকায় করা যায় সম্বন্ধে অনেক ভালো ভালো বক্তা ছিলেন এবং ওনারা বলেছেন প্লাস আর্টিফিশিয়াল ইন্টেলিজেন্সের অ্যাপ্লিকেশনটার উপরে অনেক কিছু আলোচনা হলো আমি এসে খুব বেটার ফিল করছি ধন্যবাদ
একটা ছোট কমেন্ট দিব আপনার জন্য আমরা লাইভে আছি আপনার প্রোগ্রামের কাজ
আমার মনে হয় এটা একটা ডায়ালগ শুরু হয়েছে এবং এটা আমাদের দেশের জন্য এটা শুধুমাত্র সাউথ এশিয়া হলেও এখানে বাংলাদেশের ফোকাসটাই সবচেয়ে বেশি এবং আমরা কিভাবে ইনভেস্টমেন্ট নিতে পারি সেটা আমাদের বেনিফিটের জন্য এই সম্মেলন খুব ইতিবাচক ভূমিকা রাখবে
Sir, can I ask you, sir, like it was so beautiful seeing you because the whole Bangladesh knows you, your name, and Harry Thomas because you are like someone who's very significant role you played when you went to Bangladesh. So how do you feel after all these years where Bangladesh is stand today? What is your take on this?
Amasona Balabashi. I will always love Bangladesh and the potential of its nation. I have had many Bangladeshi American students who excel, and I hope that they will use their skills to bring it back to Chattogram, to Sylhet, to Khulna, and other places in this most beautiful of countries to help it reach its potential. Amra Kobojoy, Ronabad.
Thank you. We are very inspired by your using the Kazi Nazrul Islam Bidrohi. You know, we highly appreciate
Oh,
it.
but he also told আমার সোনার বাংলা আমি তোমায় ভালোবাসি.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
What you're on Facebook or what?
Yes,
what,
yes,
what
yes.
is it
So
on?
it's a Dhaka Washington News Network, DWNN.
Wait a second. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
so you can go,
forgot.
no problem, sir. You can go you can write sir D.
Okay.
Yes, write D.
D.
W.
W.
N.
M.
No, N.
N. Okay.
N. N.
N.
And another N.
Okay.
Okay, then you search.
Then search.
Go for search. Yes. Search. Yes.
Yeah.
So now you will see. Yeah. So now you just press here.
Which where?
Right
Right here.
yes.
Ah, there it goes.
See,
Oh,
you
God, I
are
popped
here.
up.
Yes, you popped up. So this is something. Thank you so much for watching us.
Oh my God.
করার জন্য আমরা এটা করেছি। দেন এটার নাম দিয়েছি আরেকটা নাম, সেটা হচ্ছে ডিজিটাল ফাইন্যান্স। যদিও এটা আমাদের ফাইন্যান্স রিলেটেড প্রোগ্রাম, বিসাইডস দ্য ইন্টারন্যাশনাল ইনভেস্টমেন্ট। তো ডিজিটাল ফাইন্যান্স ইউজ করার কারণটা হচ্ছে ইন দিস কারেন্ট এই জমানায় বা এই সময়ে এখন আমাদের মোবাইল ব্যাংকিং, ইন্টারনেট ব্যাংকিং, অনলাইন ব্যাংকিং এবং অ্যাট লেটেস্ট এআই বা আর্টিফিশিয়াল ইন্টেলিজেন্স, এইসব টেকনোলজিগুলো যাতে সবার কাছে আমরা পৌঁছে দিতে পারি ফাইন্যান্সের দিক থেকে, এই জন্য আমরা এটার নাম দিয়েছি ডিজিটাল ফাইন্যান্স।